Now, Qantas, speaking of business, they announced a replacement for the outgoing CEO, Alan Joyce, today. He's stepping down after 15 years in the role. Vanessa Hudson has landed the role. Her biggest challenge, let's find out what it would be. Strategic Aviation Solutions Chairman Neil Hansford joins us. Vanessa Hudson, she spoke today wanting to build a constructive relationship with the union bosses in her new position as Chief Executive, Neil. Does that mean, or does that indicate that perhaps Alan Joyce has been a bit too tough on the unions?
No, I don't think it does, but I think there was a personality problem from the time he came in, and he was running Jetstar, and people like the TWU are not going to cooperate with anybody. So it's going to be difficult for Vanessa, but that'll be a test of whether a female chief executive can do better than Alan Joyce has done, and I have this feeling that she may well do it. She's Australian for a start, and 28 years experience, customer-facing positions before she was finance director. She's seen all the changes, hopefully been involved in them. So a new face on the block may be bringing new relationships.
Yeah, probably a good idea to stick with the internal candidate. I mean, they talked about how they might have interviewed upwards of 40 people around the world, but they then narrowed it down to Olivia Wirth and to Vanessa. Right choice, in your view, of the two?
Of the two it is, but there's some very, very good women in the senior echelons of Qantas. Alan Joyce has been building that female team, and it's probably as good a female team as you'll get anywhere in the industry. And so they made themselves so they had a choice. The problem Vanessa's going to have is that because it's a female appointment, the old boys club is still going to make life not easy for her, but she'll have to do twice as well as what a male would have to be recognised for her achievements. So she starts with a heavy load to lift simply because of it's an industry of old boys.
Neil, they talked in the media conference today about reputation of Qantas and how it had taken a bit of a battering. I would have thought that the question should have been, how are you going to fix Jetstar? Because it's really not Qantas's reputation that's taken a battering, but that of Jetstar. I mean, most Qantas flights are still leaving on time. Yes, they're full and the airfares are high, but it's Jetstar that was leaving people stranded, you know, in places like Bali. That must be a concern for the new CEO, that she's got to sort out the budget part of her airline, right?
I agree, but Stephanie Tully, who is now running Jetstar, you know, having worked with her father, if she's got half the skills of her father when he was at Ansett, she will work through it. But a lot of things are developed and proven in Jetstar, which flow onto the Qantas mainline. And, you know, a lot of the problems they've had aren't acceptable, but they know what the problems are and they're addressing it. And as long as the workforce, including the unionised workforce, go with them, they will get through the rough times in the next, I'd say, 3 or 4 months, and it will still be a very effective provider of air services in Australia and in the region.
Neil, just on airfares in general, I got personal experience of this in the last week. I was trying to book airfares to Europe in September, October from Australia. The airfares are eye-wateringly expensive and they keep going up. How long are all of the international airlines, and I tried, you know, Qantas, I tried Emirates, most of the Arab airlines, and, you know, mainly the same price. How long are they going to be able to keep that capacity down and those fares up for, and why are they doing it?
Look, what's happened since COVID, a lot of the carriers who were operating a lot more frequency to Australia haven't come back. So the actual capacity available in the market is not what we had prior to COVID. And that's causing part of the problem. But Australians have got this propensity, having been locked up for 3 years, of wanting to get out. Certainly Europe and London in particular is tough, but that is coming down. I'm doing a trip in this month in Asia with a major flag carrier, and the fares are outstanding and better than what they were prior to COVID in the premium classes.
Well, clearly, obviously, Asia must be different. I got a tip off this week that there'll be an announcement by Emirates next week about their fare structures in and out of Europe and Australia. You can't imagine that that announcement's going to be one that they're bringing in a whole lot of discounted airfares, can you?
No, but it may well be that they're going to bring back a lot of the capacity that they hadn't returned at this stage back into the Australian market. And if they put everything back that was here prior to COVID, that because they're operating 380s, that's going to bring a lot of capacity back into the market. And once we get back to the full capacities on Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane in particular, and Perth, you'll find that's going to provide a lot of seats and drive down fares, because no one now wants to operate with less than 90%. Now, in the good old days, Steve, when you and I were boys, you used to operate on 65%. Now, to make a living, you need 85 to 90%.